to the workshop, tools in the light. Screws and glue, they're holding it tight. Piece by piece, it's a builder's delight. Making dreams in the still of the night. Let's get into it, let's get building now. Put it all together, I'll show you how. Screw by screw and a little glue too. Welcome to the workshop, it's waiting for you. In the heart of creation, models take form. One more piece and they'll weather the storm. Engines roar or a ship in its prime. Building bonds stronger than time. Your hands are steady, your vision is clear. Dreams in plastic, they're finally here. Every piece has its very own song. In this workshop where we all belong. Let's get into it, let's get building now. Put it all together, I'll show you how. Screw by screw and a little glue too. Welcome to the workshop, it's waiting for you. Hours fly by as the pieces align. Apart work, beauty and design so fine. You're the maker, turning vision to truth. Building wonders for dreams of your youth. Hours fly by as the pieces align. Apart work, beauty and design so fine. You're the maker, turning vision to truth. Building wonders for dreams of your youth.
Hi everyone, welcome to the workshop and welcome to another Tuesday live stream. Now, everyone's voted and we're now doing the Flying Scotsman. Now, it actually works really well for this build because as you can see, it is a part built. Now, I've had a look through some of the paperwork that came with this. I started this in 2008. That's when I got all the bits for it. So it's a fair little bit old. But it's also been a little bit neglected, as you can tell. It's not bad. It's not a bad model, but there is a few things to do. I've pulled out some of the issues that I'm going to do tonight, mainly focusing on the tender for the minute, because all the other issues are a little bit up in the air. Trying to work out where I am with this. But when I take it to the workbench, I'll show you it and show you where I am up to at the minute. But as I say, it worked quite well for a live build because it's so far through its build process, it wouldn't really work very well as a static video that I do, like the Mallard at the moment, whereas that one I was able to start right from issue 1. So it looks pretty good for a distance, but I'll take you over to the workbench and show you what I have. Hey, Bugdess. Well, it's still old. I've got a little bit of paperwork here. 9th of June 2008 is that's when I got issue 21 and 23. Just means we've been married a long time. Right, so as I say, I've pulled out some magazines here. Some of these I've already done, and they are all to do with the tender. And I'll flick through some of those. I've got 4 issues, I think, here that basically hopefully get done tonight. But knowing what the mallard is like for simple looking things, this can take a little while. But this is the engine. And hopefully if I press the right button, we can switch it to that camera. So let's put the tender to one side for a minute. So none of this is joined together at a minute. So we've got the cab, which is partly assembled. Alexa, turn on the studio light. There we go, a little bit more light. So that's the cab. Now the colour on this isn't brilliant at the minute. It is going to change, so I will be repainting this. So we've got the boiler. Now this is plastic with a metal front end there. Unlike the Mallard where we had a metal boiler. And then we've got chassis plate. Again, separate. Now, I'm sure at one point I did have this screwed to this, so I'm not sure how that's come apart or where the screw might be that holds this together. And then we have all the running gear. Now, this is different. So this is a static model. You can see actually the paint's all peeling up there. I couldn't get the part, I think, for the pin that goes through here that holds that bogey on. I think I did eventually get it, and it probably is in the box now, but at the time it seemed impossible to get, so I actually put a bolt through here and a nut, as you can see. So I believe I've made this hole at the top here now too big to be able to actually put that pin back in, but it's set as a static model. As you can see, that doesn't really turn too much, but it's always ever been destined for a static model. I don't have space for an O gauge layout. We've got some decals on the wheels here, some of which have broken on the side here, so I might I want to repaint these wheels anyway because they're too dark. They're not the right color green. I think it was Doncaster green that I originally picked up for this, where it should have been Darlington green for the apple green. This looks a bit more BR green, to be fair. But as you can see, that one needs repainting. I'll try and probably paint the black and the white in. Not sure how successful I'll be for that. But that is pretty much where I am. And as you can see, there's a lot that's already been completed. We do have the boiler back head there as well. Again, not much detail has been put on that one yet. The Mallard certainly has a lot more of that done. So we'll move that to one side. And then we've got the tender here. Let's just switch to the overhead camera again. So again, nothing's actually attached, as you can see. Again, a little bit painted, not very well. I think that was all hand painted as opposed to airbrushed. That still needs to come apart and be repainted. And none of this is glued together either. So we've got that piece that's come out there. That piece will come out there. And that's pretty much what we're left with. The bits I've got for tonight is hopefully doing the chassis rail, the chassis of the tender. So not that part, but basically the rails that go on the sides. I'm sure these have a proper name, but chassis rails is what I'm calling them. Some of this has also got some of the detailing that will go on the edge of the tender as well, like so. So let's have a quick look through the magazine. So as I say, I've got a few here. Some of these have already been done. Hello, Lindsay. Glad you can make the stream. Right, so this is the original brochure that we got with the magazine. and you can see that it was destined. You could have the option to have a motor and actually power it. And as per usual with these sort of things, we did get a massive poster. And can you remember when usual price of magazines were $4.99? And how much are we paying now per issue for most things now? So, issue 88, we got the plastic part of the tender, and then we need to do a bit of glazing on the windows of the cab. I haven't actually done that. I think I've just done the tender point, as you can see. So I've got that glued in. 89 and 90, we got these inner tender rails. So just add some structure to the plastic. So I believe that was 89 and 90. We got the same. Yep. And 91. We had a piece that went on the locomotive chassis. So Mallard is very similar to this, where you got some parts for different bits of the engine. So I had to build this little bracket up, which is in here. It's this one. And then you didn't really do anything with the tender part apart from clean it up and file it. And 92 is one of the pieces that I was looking at today. So as you can see, a lot of it's just the detail around there, but we are adding a little bit of detail to the rail as well. Just a bit of bending, get the foot plate showing there. So 92 I'll keep hold of, and then 93, basically the same thing for the opposite side. And then 94, we have this piece. As you can see, I've already formed that piece a long time ago. And there are some other bits to do. I have a feeling we only test fit that and we don't actually fit it. Yeah. But we have the rails. And then if I get that far, I think 95, we're fitting them to the... Nope. 95, I've already done this. So if I bring that piece over, we basically added this little L bracket in there, which is in there. You can't really see it because it's got paint on it. So not very much to do in that one. Let's stick that onto one side. And then 96, I think I've already done this one as well, which again concentrates on this part where we put this piece in here and this piece and the step in, etc. So that one is also done. And then I think it's 97, must be, that we actually put those on the bottom of the tender. And we put the rear, looks like a buffer beam potentially in as well. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 issues. Doesn't sound like a lot, I know, but as I said, if you ever watched any of the Mallard videos, they don't last very long, but they can take an age to actually record. So I'm not going to do this punching out of the rivets. They never look very good. All they tend to do is bend the metal up, and really it's a detail you're not going to really miss unless you're a rivet counter and saying, oh, that should have another extra rivet there, or that should be spaced a little bit differently. But yeah, I don't do that anymore. I did try at one point. They just don't look very good. So I'm not going to be doing that. So it looks like it's just a bit of bending and placing a little bit of detail on the tender body. So in theory, it shouldn't take too long. Just going to grab some sprue cutters. And find the parts for issue 92. Well, hopefully my mallard videos are helping you. My new one went out yesterday, and it's actually really coming along well. Really happy with it, actually. It's certainly ahead of the Flying Scotsman now, although technically a little bit behind because it's actually still missing about 4 of its wheels. Do you have the full build? Because obviously it came out, you know, ages ago, that one as well. Must have been 2010 or something, maybe later. That one came out, so I assume you've got all the bits from a previous subscription. Hi, Jason. Glad you can make it. Try and get this out. I do need to get myself some better sprue cutters than this, especially I keep blunting them, obviously trying to cut through metal. But it does work. So take that one out. Take this one out as well. Do we need any of the other parts? Because they're very good at giving us parts we don't need straight away as well. Looks like we might need this arch piece. And if you watch the mallard videos, you'll know that I tend to try and keep parts on the sprue until they're actually needed. They're much easier to find that way. Just give these a very brief sanding. Rach, if you're watching, I need more emery boards. Remind me. It's always interesting trying to clean these sort of things up because they tend to bend. Reminds me a little bit of word art, to be fair. But yes, very good bag, this. All good, I can deal with this one, and I don't know if there are any more in the house, to be fair, Rach, unless you've got some hiding somewhere. Good to know. But yeah, mine had been sat for 10 years as well, and say this one's been sat even longer. Right, so that's that bit cleaned up. That's all those parts cleaned up. See, this is part of it. This is what I cut out from my videos a lot of the time. All the cleaning up. Although I know someone commented actually on my videos saying that they didn't like all the cuts. But I'm sure someone doesn't want to sit here and watch me sand or file for half an hour. Oh, one thing I will show you actually. This. So with the part works that you get at the minute, you get that one single little screwdriver. Yeah? This is what you got with this part work. And could you imagine, this feels cheap, admittedly, but could you imagine getting a little set like this with part work these days? You know, got a knife, got a set of pliers, got a little multi-bit screwdriver set. And obviously you can see I've never used it, but it's one of those things. I think it was as part of the subscription gift. Yeah, if you subscribed rather than getting it from your newsagent, when you could actually get things from your newsagent. But not a bad little gift. I think the Mallard came with a similar thing actually, but nice metal tin, got Hachette Partworks written on it. And just remembered about that because I knew it had a pair of pliers in. I should really go grab my good pliers, but I'll try these ones first. So just going to bend that step up. Now, I know from the Mallard that these are not 90 degrees. I think I did, with the Mallard, I think I did bend these up to 90 degrees when I first done it. But they're not 90 degrees. They're about 45. So we've got the step bent up like that. Now, just having a look, it's all these rivets details. Now, I don't know if you can actually see, hopefully the camera will focus. You can see all the rivet detail there. That's basically what we'd need to punch out, so they'd appear on this side. But as I say, no one's really going to miss it, so I'm not worrying about it. And I don't understand why, if they can etch all this detail in, why they couldn't have etched the rivets in. Just don't understand why they couldn't do that. But there must be at least 40 probably there. So with that done, I don't think we need that bit anymore. Nope. So bring over the tender body. And we need to bend this around. Try and work out how this actually goes. It's going to go along there and follow that contour around. Hey, sorry, no Lego tonight. It was outvoted. I'm putting this on the right side actually. It's going to go on this side. No, all good. I'm happy with the one I've got for the mid range. Thank you though. Right, so I'm just going to try and line that up with that corner, and then hopefully I can just bend this around without breaking the rest of it. I think I need to file off a little bit at the end of this. Now, I don't know how long, how much I'm going to get done, obviously, today. Obviously, it's only been 20 odd minutes and it doesn't feel like I've done anything at the moment. Yeah, if anyone wants to sponsor the channel, yeah, buy a Lego Titanic for me, then happily build it on the channel. Just catching on that lower section. Right, so I think pretty much got the shape there. I'll glue this end and then I'll straighten out this one. So same as a mallard, all I'm doing is super gluing this together. And to be fair, this has been glued together for 10 plus years. So I'm not exactly worried that it's going to fall apart anytime soon. I'm worried I'm going to glue myself to it. Let's grab one of my clamps, I think. So to glue this, all I'm going to do is try running a little bit of glue along the edge. That should be enough to sort of tack it in place. And then this end I'll just file off eventually. Trying to get out the look relatively straight. Right, so that's that piece in there. And then we have this piece for the front. Which is going to go in like that. Just need to file off this little edge here. Have you seen the price of the Titanic? And the Orient Express was £250. I have no idea where the Titanic would go if I ever got one, to be fair. So we're going to have that piece just there. I only just thought about doing this on the live stream yesterday when I was doing the mallard build, and then thinking obviously what I could do today. And as I said, this lends itself quite well to a live build because I'm going to be flitting between different magazines, and it's not really a good how-to sort of thing. So just going to get the parts out for 93 because I'm going to do this side. I will check the magazine in a minute, make sure there's nothing else we need to do other than the same as what we've already done with this one. I have got the camera on autofocus tonight, so hopefully it'll behave itself a little bit. Just because obviously as I'm moving these around, it's more useful to have it autofocus, hopefully. So take that one out as well. Again, just clean these up as well. I would say these little emery boards are brilliant for doing this. And I think I got lucky on this because that's pretty much where it needs to be. But it might have been easier to put this piece in first so that we know where that goes, because I think that one needs to be moved up a little bit. But it was definitely that order in the magazine. No, it wasn't. Right, let's just double check 93. So rivets I'm not doing, bend the foot plate up, bend that, put it in place, and then that one's sort of done. Again, just try and get that curve to match this one. There, that was pretty good. There was a point where I thought this one wouldn't really make it to the channel, just because of the state it was in. That's just not going to hold there because of the contour. Let's clamp it just there. And then try and get this positioned. We've got that one going there. I'm not too worried about getting glue on top of this because we'll just sand it off. Just give it a bit of a wiggle to make sure that glue does seep underneath. And that's basically that part done. So I'm going to leave that to one side. And then we'll take a look at 94. Now, I haven't actually bent up this step, so I'll do that one now. So this one is this one. So I'd obviously done that part and formed that piece. But it looks like we need to do a little bit of folding. That's going to be these two parts here. Don't actually know whether we're going to be using those ones straight away or not. Looks like it might be. Buffer beam fillets. Check the angles are accurate. Just if necessary. Step treads. I'm trying to work out whether I'm going to need those bits straight away or not. Because it's not those, that's the step treads. Right, so I won't do those just yet because it looks like we're going to be putting those to one side for the moment. However, we do need the step treads. Well, these are marked U. Upper, maybe? Pull that one out, like so. And we bend those tabs up. And then this tab down. Way ahead of you, Bergdus. So I have written down each part and got a completed or started status at a minute. Now, I did this, I don't know, probably well, not even the last time I looked at it. I think it must have been at least 5 years ago I looked at this. So I do need to go through and just double check again. It's more that when I have bits like this that you don't use for ages, I find it's easier if you leave them in the sprue, and you're less likely to lose them, because the magazines usually tell you if you need a part from a previous one, or certainly the Mallard does. I'm assuming this is going to be the same. So you can see, oh, from issue 94 you would have done this, and then I can find the part from issue 94 and bend it, and obviously just check the magazine what I need to do. True, but I think that would probably take forever and a day to go through every single one, because not every single one has the same amount of steps. So you'd have to do every single magazine and work out where you are and what you're doing. So that's done, that's done. that's done, that's done, that's done, that's done. This is where we need our steps. And that's just going to sit in like so. One's going to be left, one's going to be right, and I think that's the wrong one. That's the correct one, I think. Or are they exactly the same? No, they are different. So we've got a larger bend on this one than on the other one. So just a bit of glue on the back of that tab. Do the same for this side. I see. Yeah, I could do that like this. But I'm hoping that, like the mallard, now I'll pick this up again. That hopefully I'll have a magazine completely done. And I say, apart from maybe little fiddly bits like that, which I can just reference back when it comes to fitting those parts. That's pretty much what I'm doing with the mallard at the moment. So we've got that one glued in there as well. And then we need these bits, which are these bits here. And these ones. So what do we reckon? Continue doing the Flying Scotsman next week? Don't know what we get on this one, but what I'll try and probably do is I need to do all the brake rods for the tender. So that might be another point. So I might do a bit of concentration on the tender itself to get that done. Now, we were asked to remove that piece, but I don't feel actually using that piece this time around. No. So again, leave it in the fret. I will just grab a pen and just mark what it is. So in this case, 94. So these pieces that we just need to do a little bit of bending on. And they're very tiny bends as well. So we need to bend this piece this way. I don't know if you can tell on the top camera, but they do have like little etch score marks where they need to be bent, so relatively easy to bend them. Just getting on the small ones a little bit of leverage just to be able to bend it straight. So 2 little bends there, 1 bend there, and then we've got another bend back this way for that piece. Got another one of those to do. Yeah, and it's certainly a good idea, Bugdis, and in hindsight, if I'd done that 10 or so years ago, that was going to be really useful to me now. But I didn't actually, when I done it the last time, I probably didn't expect it to be put in a cupboard and then forgotten about for X amount of years. And to be fair, it was probably longer than 10 years that I looked at this. Well, I say that, the last time I looked at it was probably a couple of years ago when I pulled the mallard out. But I didn't have a proper look at it, I just showed you, I think, what I had at the time. And really, nothing's changed since then. That's those 2 bits bent. And then got another set of small bends to do on this piece. I was going to say I don't actually know what these are, but it's the upper and lower rear steps. Don't know if I'll get to the point of actually attaching the rails to the chassis, but we shall see. I have a feeling that might be the next step, but we shall find out. So, done that one. And then we need to make sure we get the right ones for this. So they look to be a pair. So it looks like we've got one going in like so. Just hold that with the pliers and I can bend it straight. And again, just a little bit of super glue on the back of that. Hold that one in place. And then this one is going to sit just there. So we've got like a little tab. Now, from experience, these tabs are not the best at holding these in place because obviously there's not much material. Just need to follow that out a little bit. Right, that's not going in. Oh, maybe. I might just hold it. Oh, that one's not glued properly. Why have you not glued properly? Right, that's those 2 steps in, hopefully. Do the same for this one. That's not good, Bergdus. Hopefully you can continue your model builds for as long as possible. Right, and get this other step in here, hopefully. Right, so we've got that rail in there like that. And that's all out, and so is that one. There's just not enough to hold it. That's the problem with these ones. With any luck, that'll hold it. A little bit of UV resin. Try and get glue to hold it first, temporarily, and then I'll put some resin on this one as well. slightly glue to hold that temporarily. I'm not too worried about putting too much on here because I'll just file it off. I've done this for the mallard as well, hence why I was expecting it to just not work. It's just, well, I've got the UV resin, I'll just do it on this one as well. Brilliant stuff, the UV resin, for this sort of thing. Gives you plenty of time to work with it and put it in the right place, and then you can just cure it straight away. Right, so that's that issue done. And if I can find what I've done with the next issue, let's just have a quick look at this. How complex is it? Because something that looks very simple can then take a long time to do. So I might leave this one until next week. So we've got to put the sides on. And to put the sides on, we're doing it this way around. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there rather than rush this and not get it quite right. I'll leave doing these side rails for next week, and it also means that the glue can set on those steps as well properly, because although it's super glue, it can take a few minutes to properly go off. So as I said, it's one of those things with these sort of builds that you think you're going to do 5 or 6 stages. Doesn't sound like a lot, but can take forever to do. Right, so as I said, I'll do issue 97 next week, or if not 97, maybe I've worked something out by then to do with the main body as well. But I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, and also if you haven't already subscribed, I'm sure you already have, do remember to hit that subscribe button as well. And hopefully I'll see you next week for more of Flying Scotsman, unless I can think of something else in the meantime. But yeah, I think the Flying Scotsman is going to be really good for the live stream. So until next week, I'll see you around. Cheers!